Hello. So today we are going to look at the one of the most important data types in Python, which is nothing but lists. Okay. So what is list? List is nothing but it's one of the built-in data types in Python, which is used to store the data. Okay, in simple terms. Now list can store, more than one items basically. All right. And on top of that, it has the capability to store different types of data types. Different type of data types means it can store string, it can store integer, okay, it can store float, whatever the different data types are there present in the Python. Okay, now how list is created? List is created using these square brackets. Okay, let's see. So let's say I want to create a new list, okay, in Python. So what I will do, I will simply create a variable, a dummy variable, okay. Dummy variable is in, I'll just give some name as, I'll just give some name as maybe a name. I'm just giving a variable name as name, okay. Now, if I want to create a list of variable name, what I have to do, I have to write this in square brackets. Okay, now in square brackets, I can provide the items as names maybe. So let's say this is XYZ, right? This is a string. Then second comes as ABC. Okay, this is also a string. Third comes maybe PQR. Okay, so we have created a list name, okay, which contains three elements in it. Three elements or three items in it. Okay, and for now, in this name variable, all the three items or three elements are of same data types. Okay. Now, I mean, there is no limit. So you can create, or you can enter multiple items or multiple elements in any list. Okay. So there is no limit of it. Next. So as we have discussed that list can contains multiple data types. Okay. So multiple data types as in, so let's say I'm creating a list name as X maybe, okay, equals to in square bracket. So what I will do, I can store integer in it, okay, then I can store string in it, then I can store float in it, okay, then I can store boolean also in it, okay, and within that list, I can even store a sublist, just let's say one, okay, or a tuple maybe. Okay, so like this list is capable to contain any type of data in it. Okay, and again, there is also no limit of it. All right. Okay, so now let's look this list practically. Okay. All right. So I'll first create a simple list. Okay, then we'll look for multiple lists. Okay, so I'll just create a list for name, variable name. Okay, within square brackets, I am giving XYZ, ABC, PQR. Okay, simply run it. So you have created a list called name. Now, if you want to check whether I have that list or not, simply type name in your Jupyter notebook, or if you are in any IDE, the IDE, so you can simply type print and you can simply print that variable. Okay. All right. Now, as I've mentioned, I can extend this list to n amount. Basically, n means there is no number. You can give as many elements in this list as possible. Okay, let's move forward. Now we'll see a list storing different types of data. Okay, so X, I'm creating a list as you have seen it. I'll store integer first, then I'll store ABC a string, then I'll then store some float. Okay, then true. And as I mentioned, we'll store one more list in it. Then maybe I'll store another data type as tuple in it. Okay, I can also store other data type which is nothing but set in it. Okay, run it. Okay, it's complete. If you want to check it out, X data. So you see, we have created a list. Now, if you want to check whether this X is a list or not, what you can do? Simply you can check type X. Okay, so you see, we got it as list. Similarly, over here with the name, you can check whether it is a list or not. Okay, I hope I'm clear. Now, how to access the elements within the list? Access the elements isn't. So let's say you want to do some operations or perform some operations on the first element of this list. Let's say let's consider this name. I'm just deleting the other list here. Okay, so let's consider we are dealing with just name. Now let's say you want to access the first element. First element as in you want to access the XYZ from this list. Okay, want to access this. So how will you access it? So keep this in mind. So these elements you are seeing in list, okay, they have some indexes, okay? They have some indexes and list always starts with 0th index. That means the position of this XYZ is 0, okay? Similarly for ABC, it would be 1. PQR would be 2 and it would go on like this. Okay, so the index value of any list or any variable in Python, any data type in Python will always starts with 0. Okay, so now let's say I want to access the first element. So how will I access it? I will type it name square bracket. I'll give the index value. So if you type this, you will get the output as X, Y, Z. Okay. Now, similarly for other variables. So let's say I want to access the PQR. Okay. So I'll give square bracket 2 because it is on second position, right? So I'll get the output as PQR. Okay. Now let's look this practically. Okay, so we'll deal with this list name. Okay, let me print this name once again. So in this list, you see I have XYZ, ABC, PQR. Now I want the XYZ and I want the PQR from it. Okay, so I'm gonna put a few more cells in there. Now let's say name square bracket 0th position. In 0th position, what is present? So you see it's XYZ. I'm getting the element stored at the 0th place. Now I want the PQR. PQR is stored at the second place, 0, 1, 2, right? So, 1, 2. Okay, we got the PQR. Okay, I hope I'm clear over here. All right, now let's move on and uh, let's say I want to print all the elements present in a list. Okay, so like this, we have seen that we have printed XYZ, we have printed PQR, right? Now let's say I want to print all the elements in the list. Okay, so how can I do it? So we can use simple for loop over here. Okay, so now let's see how will I write a for loop? Okay, so with the simple for loop syntax, what is simple for loop syntax? For I means nothing, it's just a simple constant variable. For I in what? For I in name, because we want to display the elements of list, right? For our loop, for I in name, colon, indentation. Now what? This I, right? This I will add your element in the list. For I in name, print I. Okay, so what it will print? It will print all the elements of list. It will first it will print what? Sorry, and it will be in sequence. Okay, always. So first is I believe XYZ, second is ABC, and third is PQR. Okay. Now again, for will always be there. Okay. In name, name is nothing but your list. Okay, this I variable, right? This I variable you can write this I as anything. Anything means whatever you want. You can write it as J, you can write it as X, you can write it as your own name, you can write it as any string, any variable. Okay. So let's say instead of I'm writing it X over here, then you just have to keep this in mind. If whatever variable you have given over here, okay, you have to print that over here. Okay, because this X represents your element in the name list. All right. So let's look this practically. Now I'll just take another list. Okay. So maybe we'll take a list as the X one, which we have seen above. So this is the list. Now I want to print all the elements present in this list. Okay. So what I'll do for this is X for I in X colon enter. Now there should be always indentation. Okay. In for loop. Now I'm simply doing print I. Okay. So you see it is printing everything one by one. All right. Similarly, you can change this variable to anything. Let's say I'm changing this variable to name of the institute, Datalicious. Okay, but you have to keep this for Datalicious in X print the Datalicious. Okay, you see it has printed it again. All right, so like this, you can access all the elements present in the lists. All right, okay. Now what I will see, we'll see the different methods they are in the Python to access the list. Methods means nothing but the different types of operations which we can perform with the list. Okay, so we'll take all of them in the practical session. okay, directly. And I'll explain you all of these over there as well, only. Okay, so the first one is append. Now, let's say we have this list as name, right? We have this list as name, and I want to add one more element to it. I want to add my name over here. Okay, so how we can add? So what you can do, you can use this method as append, and you can add your name. So let's say my name is Peter. Okay, so I've added it. Now let's check my list. Let's print my list. You see, now Peter is added to this list, right? Similarly, in X also I'll add something. X also I'll append. Basically, I'll append, not add. We say it as append. Okay. So what I want to append, I want to append uh, a new dictionary. So okay. So it says the value key. Now dictionary is also one of the data type in Python we have. Okay. Now let's print X. You see, we have added en value to X. Okay, so this is how append method is used. Okay, now what is next? Next is clear. Okay, so what is clear? From the name itself, you can get an idea. Basically, this is used to clear the list. Okay, so which list I'll clear? I'll clear this X. So you see, until now we have something in X. Now I'll simply use the method as clear. So you're discussing clear. I'm gonna simply use clear. Okay, and now let's say what's present in list. Nothing. So basically, if you get simple square brackets without any element, without any item in it, okay, so that is, we call it as empty list. So in that list we have nothing. So until here we had everything, but now we don't have anything in X. So that's how clear is used to clear the elements in the list. All right. Okay. So let's look at the next method. So next method is copy. Okay. So again, from the name itself, you can identify what it does. Okay, it simply copies the element in the list. Now we have nothing in X over here, right? So what we will do, let's say I have something in name, right? I have a string in names. Okay, I have string in names. So what I'll do, I'll simply use copy method, and I'm gonna create a new variable, maybe y. Okay, I'll copy everything, whatever is present in y, and I'll simply print y as well after that. Okay, so you see the elements, whatever it was in name, it got copied in y. To identify or to make more clear, okay, so I'll print like this. This is y. Okay, I'll also take name maybe. Okay, you see, so we are copying whatever element was there in name into y. I'm printing y. I'm also printing name. Okay, so this is, we are just concatenating the string with the variable. Okay, we'll look everything in detail into our course, all right, how the concatenation works and all, okay, and all other data types which we have seen over here, all right. Okay, now let's move on to the next. So, okay, count. Now, again, from the count itself, you can, so basically everything you can, get an idea from the method name itself. Okay. So count is nothing but it's counting the element present in the list. I mean, how many times a particular element present in the list. So for this, I'll create maybe a next list. Just integers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 6, 7, 7, 7. Okay, so this is the list which I'm creating. Okay, now I am using z dot count. Okay, now what I want to see how many times number 2 is occurring in my z list. Okay, so I'll simply print number of counts in a list, in a z list maybe. I'll just print it out. Okay. So you see Z and Z, okay, if we are giving 2, that means this particular element, it is showing us that 2 is present 2 times, right? Similarly, let's look at 1. 1 is present 1 times. Let's look at 5. 5 is present 5 again 1 times again. Let's look at 7. 7 is present 3 times. Okay, so that's how we can simply count the number of uh, number of times a particular element present in the list. Okay, I'm adding one more, which is not there in the list, which is not there in the slides basically, which is nothing but length. So basically, let's say you see that this is Z and there are a number of elements present in the list. So how many number? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 elements present. So if you want to check, so what's the length of the list? So currently we see that it's 9, but programmatically or in Python way, if you have to check, okay, so there is this keyword called length. So let's say I'll print length of Z. Length of Z, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? So it has given us 10. There are 10 elements in Z. Similarly, let's check length of name. Okay, so name has 4 in it. Right? Here it is. XYZ, ABC, PQR, Peter. Okay. So, okay. Now what's next? Next is extend. Okay. Again, similarly, just like append. Okay. In append, what we are doing, if we go up, you see in append, we were directly giving uh, a string or some other data type, basically, directly giving data type. Okay, to add up in the existing list. But what is extend? Extends basically extends the list. For example, let's say I have Z. First of all, I'll just print both Z and name. Okay. Uh, so print Z and print name. Okay. So this is my Z and this is my name. Now, what I want to extend this Z or Z with the name. I mean, all these elements in this list. Okay, so in simple terms, let's say I want to join this to list maybe. Okay, so what I can do, I can simply do Z dot extend and I can write name here. If I do that, see what that becomes. You see, it has added this list, this complete whole list to existing list. All right. Now, what's the difference? Here, the name is list. So basically, the input which we are giving to this extent, okay, that will always be list over here. Okay, type list basically. And in append, it should be some data type. So basically, in this case, it's string, and in this case, it's dictionary. Okay, I hope I'm clear. Now, next, index. Okay, now, as I've told you in the beginning, that list has indexes. So basically, index is nothing but at which position uh, things are placed. Okay, so let's say, let's print out Y. It should be always small. Okay, right. So XYZ, ABC, PQR, Peter. All right. Now, let's say I want to check the index of this PQR, at what place PQR is present, right? In that case, what I'll do, I'll just printing out things directly. Okay. So Y dot index, and in index, I'll pass the variable of which I want to check the index. So here it's PQR. So PQR, so you see, it has given 2. Now let's count. It's 0, 1, 2, right? So at second position, PQR is present in Y. All right. So that's index. Okay. I'm just commenting things basically to understand, for you guys understanding. All right. Now let's look at the next method. Now, whatever methods we are discussing, right? All these methods are going to be used when you'll write Python code for any applications, not only for data science, but for any application. If you're going to use the Python language, then all these methods you're going to use while working with lists in Python. Okay, keep this in mind. All right, again, insert. Okay, now say Uh, let's again, let's print out Y. Okay, so let's print out Y. Okay, so now again, Python is case sensitive. Okay, case sensitive means it won't identify capital Y and small y as same. Okay, so you have to be careful over here. All right. Similarly, this print statement as well. Print P should always be smaller. All right. So keep this thing in mind that Python is case sensitive. So I have to make this capital Y. Okay. Yeah, capital Y. Now insert, right? Now let's say I want to insert some string at first position. Okay, first position. Now currently you see at first position we have ABC, right? So maybe I want to insert something at the first position. I want to insert maybe uh, some text. So let's say some random text style. All right. So how can I enter that? So it's like y dot insert first position. That means we have to give index value as 1, right? And whatever I have to insert, I want to insert some random text. Maybe I will see like res. I'll just insert. Okay. So once you do that, I'll print it. Okay. So you see, it has inserted XY in first position. It has moved ABC to the next position. So now Y has 5 values in it, right? Res is at first, ABC goes at second, third, fourth. Okay. I hope I'm clear here. Now next is pop. Okay. Now pop is nothing but, you know, popping the values out of a list. Popping means removing the last element from the list. Okay, so let's say in Y, the last element is nothing but Peter, right? So if I do pop on Y, if I do pop on Y, Pe Peter will be removed from Y. Okay, you see, Peter is removed. Now, if I do one more time pop on it, okay, this PQR will be removed. You see, and this thing goes on. So pop is used to remove the last element from the list. Okay, now what is next? It's remove. Okay, now similar to pop. Okay, now what's the difference between pop and remove? Now pop was always removing the element, the very last element basically. All right, now what remove will do? Remove will take the element which we want to remove from a list, okay, and it will remove the first element from the list. First one is, let me explain you. So I'll just create a new variable called v, okay, and I'll give name as like xyz name, which is abc. Then I'll take pqr. Again, I'll do xyz. Then I'll give some random text. Okay. So I've created this list again. All right. And what I want to do, I want to remove XYZ from it. So you see that XYZ are 2 times, right? So what remove will do? Remove will remove the XYZ one time only, and it will be always the first element. I mean, the first time XYZ wherever it's present in the list. That means this XYZ will be removed. Okay, so first we'll do the simple remove. Simple means we'll just remove TUS from it maybe. Okay, so v dot remove, I'll remove TUS from it. Okay, and after removing, I'll print v. So you see, TUS is removed from v. Now, what I want to do, I want to remove XYZ, okay? But keep this in mind, if XYZ is present more than once, then it will always remove only the first wherever the XYZ is present, okay? So I'll just copy this, I'll paste it, and instead of plus, I'll write XYZ. Okay, so you see, it has removed XYZ from here, but this XYZ is still present in here. Now again, if I do XYZ, then it will remove this XYZ as well. Okay, I hope I'm clear. Next, again, reverse. Okay, reverse is again, see, reverse and sort is left. Okay, reverse. Now, reverse is again to reverse the element. So you see now currently its zeroth position is ABC, second is PQR, third is XYZ. Now let's say I want to reverse it. Okay, I want XYZ at the first, PQR would be in the middle, ABC would be the last again. So I'll simply use Y dot reverse keyword, reverse method. Okay, so if I'm doing it and I'm printing it, that's Y. Print Y. Oh, sorry, my bad, it's V. This is V, right? We are looking these variables. Okay, so you see XYZ was at the last year in V. Now currently after reverse, it's at the first. P would be middle, ABC. Instead of first, it became the last element. Okay. Now the last method which is there is sort. Again, if we have, let's consider a second. Do we have any list of numbers? Z is nothing. Okay, I will just simply create one. So let's say I'm creating a list called A with some numbers in it. Okay. So I want to sort it, right? If I want to sort it, sort means I want this things in ascending order. All right. So simply A dot sort A 33579. You see, it was 35793 earlier. Now it is 33579. It has sorted the list in the ascending order. Now, similarly, if you want the same thing for text values, right? So text values in the sense, let's say I'm creating B. Let's say it's like XYZ, ABC, PQR. Okay, so I'm sorting B dot sort. It will again sort based on the character value. So you see, it's XYZ, ABC, PQR, but A comes first, right? So that's why ABC, then P comes. That's why PQR, then X is the last. So that's why it's XYZ in the last. All right. Now, similarly, if you want to do things in the reverse manner, okay, you want uh, descending sequence. So simply do sort parameter, right? Then reverse equals to true. So you have to pass this parameter here that reverse equals to 2. So the first time it would be like ascending. Maybe I'll just print it out. Ascending B. This is descending B. Okay. So you see it's XYZ, PQR, XYZ, ABC, PQR, XYZ is ascending. Descending is XYZ, PQR, ABC. Okay. Similarly in here as well. If you do again A dot sort, and if you do reverse equals to true, okay, and then again if you print A, so you see it's 33579, it's ascending order, then it's 97533, it's descending order. Okay, I hope You guys are clear with the list methods, all right? What is list and how can we access the list? That's it from this class today. Thank you very much for your time.